here is the truck. I haven't cleaned out the inside yet. It's a little dusty. 2 sets of keys. Let the pump work. Fuel pump. I don't know what happened to the mileage cover thing, but at night you can see the miles, not during the day. That one went to about 4K. That works just fine. You do need to be in neutral to put it in the 4-wheel and 4-wheel low. So don't ever do it on the fly. Back window. There's new motors and regulators in all the windows. Tinted windows. Speed sensitive air conditioning. The regular air conditioning works, of course. There's a stereo. I'll even include my Michael Jackson Greatest Hits CD, which is probably in there. There it is. So it's playing, but there's no sound. Speakers are in there. Cover for this one is right there. Glue it back on. That wire that's for that black antenna. I hooked that up to my police scanner, that radio scanner. Then I found a better antenna, so I left that one there. You can do whatever. There's a small crack in the dash too. I was going to mount the trans temp gauge here, and there's a water temp gauge there. I never got around to it. Wipers and sprayers. That's full speed. What else? Well, the AC feels pretty good up there. The heater works too. I'm gonna go around the car. Start with the door jams, door frames. Not seeing any rust or anything. I've never really looked. Maybe a little. Power locks. Power mirrors, those work. Both sides. I replaced those mirrors not long after I got it. The chrome on it, I guess, wasn't that good, so that's why that looks like that. This center cap is chromed, it's pitting, but you can replace those easy. This is aluminum on the wheel. Well, it's pretty dark. Okay, that didn't work. I'll take pictures of that. Front end. I don't know if you can see that. I guess it's clear coat. Okay, I'll do another video with the light, the flashlight on the camera on, or the wheel wells and stuff. That's the seat. These are the original seats, so I put a cover on that one because that one was doing what this one does. Just a little dust. That's where this amp was that I pulled out. I had a sub in there too. I pulled that out. All the bolts for the seat are still there, and the seatbelt components. This was the old rear window switch I pulled out. I don't know why I kept it. One of these. Oh, the rear defroster. I replaced this dash piece because it cracked in the middle, so I put a new one on, and there wasn't a hole for the rear defroster, but that's okay because the rear glass is not stock and there's no defroster lines on that. This here, don't plug it back in because when you open the door, this is what beeps. So if the door, like this door is open, it would be beeping constantly, and it's very annoying. So that is out. But it's up to you if you want to put it. That's the headrest for the seat cover. Center console. These come out too. Ta-da! That's the rear view mirror. It fell off because it's really old. You get a kit from AutoZone, it'll hook right back up. You got some spare bulbs in here and pieces just in case. This is for the trailer adapter to go to a 3-prong. Works great. I towed a small 7x12 enclosed with that single axle. This here is that one part I was talking about. I don't know what that is, but or maybe bigger than like a quarter. Original exhaust. So it's the bolts that have the little bit of rust on it, not so much where the tire holder goes. That swings out. The thing's really heavy. I took it off by myself. I recommend having 2 people when you put it back on. If you put it back on. That's the rear tail. That's the tailgate. It's not exactly through, but it would be, and it's kind of bubbly right here. That's the only other spot. Let's see it. It's the hitch I put on. It's a Class 5. The hitch is heavier duty than the truck, so you'll never out-tow that hitch. New handle and mechanism. It needs a few screws on this plate though. I think that's only surface rust. It's not through the metal or anything. There is a hole here. I don't know how or where that came from, but that's there. So yes, it is a little messy inside. I haven't cleaned the inside yet. Let's see. These are new. No, these. Replace those. Replace the ceiling here. The strip on all the windows. Replace this too. Locking gas cap. Put that on when gas was at like $4.50 a gallon. It's got a pretty good tank. I think it's 30 gallons. Let me pop the hood. E-brake works. There's your engine. 5.8 liter. That's that radiator I put in. New hoses too. I put in new radiator hoses as well. Hood. There's no hood stick. It's those spring-loaded levers. Pretty cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna drive it around a little and hope that the cops don't pull me over for doing a video and driving at the same time. Lights. That's your parking lights, headlights, and you can dim by turning it, and then turn it all the way to the left, and your dome lights come on. There's no alarm if you leave the. Well, you know what? I don't know if there is or not. Let's see. I'm gonna leave the lights on. I think the alarm was that piece I took off. Yeah. That's the stereo beeping. It does that every time you turn off the car. Okay, so when you get out of the car, check. Double check. Don't forget. Turn around, look at it, see if the lights are on. You don't want the battery to die. Let's roll. It is very different going from the big truck to this one. Roll this window up. Obviously, I can't go, crazy fast around here. That little rattle, that fixed it. Push the thing back in. Really, there's like one screw on that door panel. I don't know where they went, but they're easy to get. Put a couple more screws in it and it'll stop rattling. Alright, I'm going to put it in the 4x. So you got to be in neutral. All you do is pull it back. And there you go, 4x4. Back and drive, of course. The front hubs are auto locking. I don't really know how they work. I think it works off a vacuum system. But there is not a way to do it manually. So if you wanted to put the manual hubs on, I think that's a good idea. Do 4 low. 4 low, you gotta push it down or go to neutral. Down and back. 4x4, low range, that's what that says. Back in the drive. We are in low. Oh, that's fun. I know you're not supposed to do 4-wheel drive on hard paved surfaces, but it's not like I'm doing turns or anything. I'm going to put it back into regular 2 high. So you go back into neutral. Foot's on the brake. Forward. Work with me. Down, forward, and then forward again. And we're back to normal. Back to 2 high. It's got decent power. It's not the best. I recommend putting Duralube in when you change the oil. And every time you fill up, check your oil. There's a small drip. Don't forget about the drip. You gotta check your oil every time you put in gas. What else do I got here? The gas gauge. Okay, so it says it's at 3/4. It's actually not. When you fill it all the way up, the needle's going to be past F, and it's going to stay there until what I'm thinking is half a tank. And once the half a tank comes around, then the needle starts to move. So it's probably at a third of a tank right now, or a little higher. But either way, you got plenty of warning before the gas is real low. So it is nice to get in and see a super full tank of gas every time you drive. With that new radiator, see where the needle is on the N between the O? It pretty much stays there all the time. And I put a new thermostat housing in, and thermostat. That was, I don't know, last August. So the whole cooling system got replaced. And I wasn't planning on selling it, but when I got that guy, that big one, yeah, I need to cut those payments down. So I'll be selling this and my other car to cut down on the loan, and yeah, that's the plan for that. So that's why I'm selling it. And you know, I don't really fit this anymore, so kind of outgrowing it. Here's another thing. When I drive, these boots are pretty thick. You can see where my foot is. Watch when I go straight over. I go behind the brake. Even lifting my foot up, so I'd have to lift my whole leg up to get to the brake. That was killing my leg. But I started driving two-footed, and I was fine. Left foot here. It was real easy to get to the brake. I never missed after that. My leg stopped hurting. So it might take you a day to learn how to drive two-footed. It's real easy. Maybe you already do. Okay. Let me do another video with the light on of the camera for the wheel wells.